And now, live from the center of the universe, Jerusalem, it's Rabbi Tovia Singer and Jeremy Gimpel on Israel National Radio.
All right, we have Samuel from Tennessee on line B. Samuel, how can we help you?
Howdy, y'all. I was given some information by a young lady in the virtual studio sometime back on Judges 18:30, and I wanted to put some observations that I gathered from some legwork for it, and then just ask you to comment on it. What it says from the Chabad website is, and the children of Dan set up for themselves the graven image, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, he and his sons were priests to the tribe of the Danites until the day of the exile of the land. Now, if you read Ashi's commentary on it, it says, out of respect for Moses, a noon was inserted, thereby changing the name Manasseh. This letter was written superseded to indicate that Manasseh, but not Manasseh, but actually Moses.
That's correct.
Now, I pulled this up in a Biblia Hebraica Stuttgartensia. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that particular work. And it's kind of hard to read their notes. They say multiple sources, which I understand to be 16 to 60, has the noons erased one.
Samuel,
don't have
what I just want you to do is, because we only have a few moments left, I want you to draw your point to a question.
Okay, 30 seconds and I'll give it then. Paucity, which is 3 to 6 sources of Greek, actually say Moses. Now, I looked at King James and Reims, which are from two different trees. Reims is Alexandrian. It says Moses, and King James is Antioch tree. And I'm just curious, what would your comments be on that verse?
The answer is, I think you've stated the answer to your question within the body of your question. Because Scripture sought not to embarrass Moses by this horrible catastrophe in the book of Judges, the word was altered. Now, why would Moses be spared of this embarrassment? Because he had personally nothing to do with it. And we find a similar situation with a descendant of a righteous man, and that's Joshua, the son of Yehoshaphat, in the book of Zechariah chapter 3, where he too was accused of a sin that he didn't commit, that his son had committed in Ezra chapter 10, verse 18. His son had married a non-Jewish woman here in the land of Israel. The second temple was being built. So therefore, we have this sort of, we'll call it a krinik siv. We have this anomaly in the text where the word Moshe is changed to Menashe so that not to embarrass Moses, who had nothing to do with his unimaginable crime. That's the answer to the question, Samuel. Thank you. So, but it really goes to the Masorah, which means, you know, when the text says one thing and we have a rabbinic Masorah that says this is what it really means, the Christians know, let's go with the Masorah. The rabbis know what they're talking about. So,
I mean, if we're already on the Judges, I wanted to talk about the Judges. I mean, it's beautiful because the Judges literally mirror, in my opinion, the state that we're in today, where there is no leadership that's like leading the Jewish people. We're not united. Everyone kind of does their own thing. There's this sect of this and this sect of that, and everyone's over there. We're in the transition from the Bronze Age to the Iron Age, and like this transition now of the internet, of telecommunications, of satellites, we're on the verge of a new era right before Saul or King David is right around the corner. And who is our enemy? Who was the enemy the entire time of the Judges? Who was the enemy of Samson? It was the Philistines from Gaza. I mean, we're literally mirrored right now the time of Judges, and it's this transition, this awkward time from like the hell of the Holocaust. This entire period is like the blueprint from the Tanakh. We are on the very edge of meeting King David.
How does the book of Judges end? You know, it says
everyone did what was right in his eyes.
In his own eyes. And ultimately, we had to have a king, and a king rose up, and ultimately, we now look forward to the Davidic dynasty. And I want to say this to you, the listener: things don't look good. You know, I'll tell you this: behind Jeremy and I, it's east. You got Jordan, Iraq, Iran, just north, Syria, south, Hamas, Egypt. things look terrible. We don't have a chance based on natural forces, but this is what we do have. We have a Bible that says this: don't be afraid of the enemy. They got great chariots and horses, but the God of Israel is with you, and we trust in our Father who is in heaven. Jeremy, this is a great show.
Thank you all for joining us this week. We'll see you next week.
Shalom.